the races.
The Artemis is a secret hospital for criminals.
I thought you were done with all this.
I got out, but you know how it goes.
You're never out. Not up here.
I thought this place was a myth.
We've been here for 22 years. This hospital was built on two things: trust and rules.
You see that badge? That means I'm a healthcare professional.
You're an arms dealer, right?
Don't push my buttons. Don't you do that.
I'm a professional, but this woman, she's a business. If you knew what she could do to you with just that cup of coffee.
You're lucky this place has rules.
The Artemis isn't safe for us, because it is. It's a portable vault.
Worth about 18 million.
Wolf King's probably gonna want those bags.
Okay, this is a real problem. It's here.
Open the gate.
That's against the rules.
Rules? Without the rule breakers, honey, where would you be?
Aloha! This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Oahu, here in the state of Hawaii, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man. And today, Friday, June 8th, I saw a wonderful movie called Hotel Artemis. And, well, without further ado, remember our rating scale, shock a thumbs up. It's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down, it's bad to see, it's junk. I don't recommend it. And, well, for Hotel Artemis, it is a shock a thumbs up. Now, this stars a whole host of stars, a whole slew of stars. Everybody from Jodie Foster to Jeff Goldblum to, gosh, you know, Dave Bautista, you know, Sofia Boutella, and even who is that? Samuel K. Brown was in this movie, and I have to say it was pretty good. Definitely a shock a thumbs up. Well worth seeing for the matinee. Well worth seeing for the discounted days. $6 at Regal on Tuesday, $7 at Consolidated on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe even, you know, the normal feature at night, you know, depending if you enjoy a kind of a mystery, action-oriented movie. But I must warn you that this is not what the trailers were totally pushing. You know, it looked very similar to, say, a John Wick-esque type of movie. Again, you know, if you remember John Wick, one of the fantastic, you know, background players or settings was the Hotel Continental, where all these assassins throughout the world could come, and it was a safe harbor or haven for them all. There would be no fighting there, no bloodshed on continental grounds, and they were located throughout the world. And you could get whatever you needed there, everything from custom suits, guns, arms, you know, even medical attention. Everything but, well, I guess except for one, a dog-sitting service. And Hotel Artemis attempts to follow in the footsteps of this. You know, great two movies, hopefully the trio coming up soon, of John Wick and the Hotel Continental. Hotel Artemis is a privately run hotel set in LA in the year 2028. So in the near future, where technology has kind of advanced itself, we have 3D printing, we have nanobite technology that helps the doctors with their patients. You know, also there is a tremendous amount of violence that takes place. Think of it as a little bit of The Purge, but not a Purge movie per se, as this is all set in the background of the riots of Los Angeles. Maybe even like an Escape from LA kind of feel to it. Whereas people who are poverty-stricken, The new commodity, the main commodity on Earth is water, and private industry, private people with money have bought up all the water, and people are rioting over, access to that water. Very much something, well within the realms of the near future, which this is set. Especially with California and the past droughts for the many, many years that they've had it. Now, our players, Jodie Foster plays a nurse, a medical practitioner who runs this hotel for criminals, basically giving them a safe haven, no fighting, no guns allowed on the premises, no weapons of any kind, and her staff being the one-man army himself, Dave Bautista, as kind of her EMT to assist her. So right away, we find ourselves, due to some jobs go wrong, apparently, criminals begin to flood into Hotel Artemis, which, becomes part of the story itself. They are seeking medical attention, especially the owner of the hotel himself, who funded Jodie Foster's character. Although she runs the hotel, the Wolf of LA owns the hotel. And very much like in John Wick, where you had the Continental being its own entity, it was still overseen and governed by the council or whoever that was behind it, as we saw in part 2. And we'll likely see again in part 3. But although it does follow those similar themes and suits, from John Wick, the story itself, the action-paced excitement that you were expecting to see in this is not there. It goes more for a storytelling narrative of how, you learn to see how the Hotel Artemis was brought into being, what tragedy happened in Jodie Foster's character's life that she decided to help out all these criminals. And we find out that it is due to the death of her son, apparently from a drug overdose / drowning. And that pushes her over the edge to where she breaks down, loses her medical license, and Jeff Goldblum, who plays the head honcho of LA, the Wolf, goes ahead and buys up this hotel for her, puts her into business of patching up anyone who can afford, any criminal who can afford her services and the safe stay at the hotel, of which he will always be the #1 customer in case he needs it. Feeling that is the only place he can truly trust. And so we have a whole host of players. A plot ensues, of course, by many of the patients there, or guests there, that they're going after the Wolf. Now, you might feel this is a little bit of a spoiler, but, within the first few minutes, you find out that is people's main objective here. And they try to strike him while he's weakest, staying where he feels he is safe at the Hotel Artemis. And so that is all I will tell you. But again, like I said, it does go for more of a narrative story. We look more into Jodie Foster's character, which she is an outstanding actress. So, you're not losing anything by watching this movie. But if you were going in expecting guns blazing left and right, like a John Wick-style action thriller, you're not going to get it. But the storytelling and what little action you do see is pretty darn good, and I thus rate it a shaka thumbs up. You will definitely get your money's worth and your enjoyment out of it, especially for the matinee or on the discount dollar days. $6 or $7 at Regal and Consolidated, respectively. All right, so again, Hotel Artemis, shaka thumbs up, but maybe not as strong as a shaka thumbs up as it could have been if it had followed more of a narrative of John Wick and set with the action. Now I'd like to diverse. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but like I said, you know, I describe this on my Instagram as being a mesh of a couple of movies. Say like, you know, it had with Jodie Foster, of course. I guess that pushed it into, and the narrative protective nature of Hotel Artemis into her last movie, one of her last movies, Panic Room, which it very much felt like. And again, John Wick, kind of a meshing of those two, being Hotel Artemis equals the Continental in a way. And we find out that there are many other facilities throughout at least the United States, somewhat similar to Hotel Artemis. One in Vegas is mentioned near the end of the movie. That being said, it is not a sequel or in the world of John Wick. It is set way in the future, 2028, you know, from the present day of John Wick movies. And the technology is, of course, maybe more advanced than we will see within the rest of our lifetimes. But it is very optimistic. Outside of that, you could think of this as, again, Escape from New York, Escape from LA, in the way that LA, the have and have-nots are depicted. You also get a feel that, you know, Jeff Goldblum's the big bad wolf, again, you know, the gang or crime leader of Los Angeles. So you do feel a little bit of a callback to, say, even one of Quentin Tarantino's movies, you know, like Pulp Fiction, where you have that character, the wolf, the big bad. Hey, if there's trouble, call in the wolf and he will get things done or strained away. And he was in a couple of movies, again, you know, I think Pulp Fiction for sure, and then the other one was where you saw him in Reservoir Dogs, you know, kind of a recurring Quentin Tarantino character, which is kind of what Jeff Goldblum's character plays, you know, maybe at the eventual near end of his career as the head honcho of the entire city. So again, this was done by Drew Pearce, I believe, written and directed by someone named Drew Pearce. I'm not familiar with his work, but again, it's easy to see where he took you know, multiple ideas and avenues from multiple movies and kind of flung them in here into, you know, an interesting, you know, light action, heavy narrative, entertaining movie, which, again, is a shaka thumbs up. So, again, Hotel Artemis, good to see, especially for this weekend. There's nothing else out other than Ocean's 8. I'm probably not going to review that. I'm not a fan of the Ocean's movies, even though this is supposed to be new blood with women. So, there you have it. Hotel Artemis looks like, unfortunately, possibly the only movie that I will see this weekend and review. All right, thank you so much. This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, giving Hotel Artemis a shaka thumbs up. Definitely go ahead and go see it, especially if you don't want to see Ocean's 8. All right, thank you so much, and aloha.